How would you like to be a British subject again? I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't care. Like, and I say that to mean that like I don't really like. I don't think it's gonna happen, and if it did, I don't think it would change anything for us. I think it's more just like a kind of mutually beneficial thing. But what does that mean? Does that mean Americans? Like, how would this work? Would that mean Americans become British subjects, or would that mean that everyone in the Commonwealth becomes an American citizen? Like, how does that work? I don't know. I don't know the finer details of what it means to be a Commonwealth country. But yeah, apparently King Charles wants to offer Commonwealth membership to the U.S. Allegedly. And joking aside, I'm not sure how to feel about it. Apparently Trump likes the idea, but Trump is very pro England. I mean, so am I. Like, I'm very pro Great Britain, pro UK. I'm a big fan of the UK. I mean, they're in dire straits right now. They're in a shitty state as of like today, as of right now. But people like the meme is people say like who's our greatest ally on the world stage. I mean, to be honest, like the super far crazy rightoids like to say that like everybody, you know nobody really says Israel's our greatest ally. I mean, some people do, probably some neocons do, but like I've never really heard that as like a common turn of phrase on the right. No, and I've often said that like Israel isn't even top 5 in my book. No, seriously, for my money, I do think the UK is our greatest ally in the world. Hands down, bar none. Like the two of us have been fucking making it together, you know, since the Great Reapproachment. Like, I mean, we've had our ups and downs. Famously, they didn't get involved in Vietnam with us, and history kind of vindicated that decision. I'd probably say, like, I think it'd be fair to say. But yeah, but no, seriously, ever since World War One, basically, or even earlier than that. Like, well, I mean, the Great Reapproachment. I can't remember what year that happened, but you know what I'm talking about. Um, but no, like, greatest ally in the world, our best ally in the world, our strongest military ally in the world. So yeah, like anything that kind of brings us closer together is probably not. It's not necessarily a bad thing. You know, keep an open mind about it. I ultimately don't want America, like gun to my head, do I want America to become part of the British Commonwealth? Probably not. Probably not a good idea. But it's a funny meme. How about this? How about yeah, you become US territory. How about that? I'm not saying we give you statehood necessarily. I'm not saying that Great Britain or the United Kingdom needs to be the 51st state, but I don't know. How about how would hey, United Kingdom? How would you guys like to be the 51st state? Huh? Eh? Eh? Meh? Or 4 new states: England, Wales, Scotland, and North Ireland. It would be pretty fucking sweet if I could fly and visit. If I could fly to Scotland and not have to have a passport, that would be pretty dope. But anyway, shout out to the Independent, Andrew Feinberg. That's a very tribal name. But yeah, no, let's read on, shall we? Nearly 250 years after America declared independence from Great Britain, President Donald Trump suggested he was open to taking a small step back towards the warm embrace of the British monarchy, after a media outlet reported that King Charles III intends to extend an offer for the United States to join the Commonwealth of Nations. The King is reportedly preparing to extend the offer of associate membership in the voluntary association of 56 nations, which most of which have history as former British colonies. Trump, it seems, is open to the idea. Writing on his Truth Social while sharing an article referencing the unprecedented offer, Trump said, "I love King Charles. Sounds good to me." Um, so I mean, I obviously don't think that Trump's going to go for it, but there's no reason, to be shitty about it, especially to an ally as close as the UK has been to us over the last century and a half. Um, First reported by the Daily Mail, the offer from Charles III would be formally extended during the planned state visit by Trump to the UK. Prime Minister Keir Starmer delivered a handwritten invitation from the King to the U.S. leader during the visit to the White House last month. Oh, King Chucky. A member of the Royal Commonwealth Society told the Mail that the possibility of America making entry into the Commonwealth is, quote, being discussed at the highest levels as a wonderful move that would symbolize Britain's close relationship with the U.S. It could just be symbolic. You know what I mean? Like, yes, technically we become a member of the Commonwealth of Nations, but we don't have to do anything. Like whatever. Like I'm not sure the finer details. Like what is required of a you know of a Commonwealth member. Like what do they have to like what do they have to do? Do they pay taxes or like how does that work? Whatever it is, I'm sure it'll be like a membership in name only, kind of like a reaffirming of our long-standing alliance, both economically and militarily and culturally. Quote, um, Donald Trump loves Britain and has great respect for the royal family, so we believe he would see the benefits of this. Associate membership could hopefully be followed up by full membership, making the Commonwealth even more important as a global organization, the person added. Having America joining the Commonwealth, even as an associate member, could be a way for Charles to smooth over tensions between Washington, London, and Ottawa that have erupted over Trump's frequently stated desire to make Canada a Commonwealth founding member and one of the 15 nations that still counts the king as head of state, the 51st American state rather than the fully independent nation it has been since 1982. Canadian Constitution removed the country's vestigial legal dependence on the British Parliament. Trump's rhetoric towards America's northern neighbor, which it shares, I think that's a typo, which it shares the world's largest unguarded land border, has inflamed passions among Canadians who've taken umbrage at what has amounted to an unprovoked trade war waged by American leaders. I wouldn't call it completely unprovoked. I mean, you guys do not do a fucking thing about your like the illegals that come in through your border. Granted, the southern border is the much bigger problem. I 100% agree with that, but like you guys could do more to secure your side of things up north. The president has imposed tariffs on many Canadian imports and threatened to raise the import taxes, which are ultimately paid by American consumers. Even higher, while claiming that the U.S. trade deficit with China amounts to an unfair subsidy of Ottawa by Washington. If membership is offered and accepted, no longer would America send an ambassador to the Court of St. James as it has done since John Adams presented his credentials to King George III in June 1785. Washington's emissary to Ottawa would no longer be an ambassador either, and neither would the top diplomats sent by the UK or Canada to the US. That's become Commonwealth nations appointment high commissioners to represent each other's interests in the respective capitals. The 56-member bloc has roots in the post-Second World War era when the UK began divesting itself of its massive colonial empire. And Canada, the subject of current tensions with the US, was the first member. Most, but not all, of the current Commonwealth members are former British dominions or colonies. The White House did not immediately respond to a request for comment from the Independent. So, yeah, you know, just, crazy stuff um, going on out in the world. Like again, nothing's gonna come of this. I think this is mostly just kind of like lad handing, a little bit of ass kissing. You know what I mean? You know, or it could just be King Charles being cheeky. Like we're always trying to make Canada the 51st state, and now King Charles is trying to make us like the whatever. What was it? The 57th Commonwealth nation. You know what I mean? Like it's all kind of us just fucking around with each other. Like I said, I don't think anything will come of this. Um, but interesting things. We're living in interesting times. But you know the drill at this point. Like the video and comment down below and do all the algorithm stuff for me and follow the links and follow me on X and do all that stuff. Throw me a bone. Do it. Throw it at me. Just wind up and whip it right at my head.